So you see, ask God and He'll give you an answer. Don't talk so much. Listen. When you're undergoing trials, the first thing you ought to do is listen. And sometimes I tell you this, Oswald Chambers has said, God can say more in His silence than when He says something you know that you can hear. Silence is a time to be quiet and seek to get in tune with the frequency of heaven. And that takes patience. It takes being doers of the Word and being hearers of the Word. But I do know this, God is ready to give you a bountiful supply of wisdom when you ask Him. What is wisdom? It's not how smart you are on some ACT or SAT test. Pardon the term, but some of the dumbest people I know score high on those tests. They don't have a lot of common sense. They can't sit there and carry on a normal conversation. But wisdom is seeing life from God's perspective. Wisdom is seeing life from God's perspective. And so I do know this, God is ready to give a bountiful supply of wisdom when you ask Him. But how do you ask Him? See there in verse 6? Ask in faith. Faith is believing that God knows what is best for you. But it's not being double-minded, as it says up there. It's not wavering in the process. Well, Lord, I'm going to ask you this, but if you think, well, God may tell me something I really don't want to do, so you're going to leave yourself open to other opinions. There are some, let me tell you, when God tells you something, you don't need a second opinion. I tell you, there are a lot of things earthly-wise. You ought to get a second opinion. Sometimes you ought to get a third opinion. But boy, when God tells you something, that's all you need to hear.